You had a lot of queries. So let's have your questions now, one by one. Waiting for the questions. I'm going to revise scanner once again, but before that, if you have any question, do ask. Yes, blocking I will explain. CMD commands. Rohit, do you mean, wait a second. I'm talking to Rohit. So command line invocation, Java and JavaC. So next time I compile, I'll explain it for you once again, Rohit. %n is the format specifier to add a new line when you are using Srinivas printf method. Kunal, we are not going to, whenever you appear for technical interview rounds, there is no 100% guarantee, or generally you are not given the IDs. They don't expect you to remember the complex APIs, but all you will be given is the basic text editor. So at least the basic information about how to compile the code and how to execute code is and the concept of a packages and a class path is the minimum essential skill for every programmer. So that is my explanation to your answer. So let me go one by one. How were there two spaces? No, I did not say, Girish, you heard me wrongly. I said there were two tokens. Space was only one. There are two delimiter spaces. No, then maybe what I said was interpreted wrongly. Scanner part, I'm going to revise. So scanner related questions, don't worry. How can a single character to double? Doesn't happen. Himanshu, the answer will be when I explain the scanner again. Scanner has internally a buffer which is of the type character, but the separator between any two tokens is considered as the space. That's the answer to you. But like I said, let me explain the scanner once again. Anyone wants to answer, Girish, because I have already said it multiple times. What is the difference between println and a printf? He's asking me. Anyone? Println is what, Girish? Println is nothing but print. After you print the contents, a new line appears. So anyone wants to tell me, when you say println, when you explain, not explaining, Kunal, I will show you that. I already answered that same question. Please don't repeat. So here, println is print and after that new line. So let me ask you guys a question as a response to Girish's query. Using println, if I want to print user's name, first name, age, and salary, what will you use? Or rather, how will you use it? I'll repeat my question slowly. I want to say system.out.println and print the user's name, first name, age, and salary. What will you use? Will you use commas or will you use plus as a concatenation operator? Comma or plus? I'm asking you for println. Is the question clear or is the question not clear? Answer is plus operator. Everyone understands that? Now, if I ask you, if I want to print name plus age, absolutely. Avinash, I accept your answer best because you have actually written it out. Only thing is system.out, but I understand. Now the next question for Girish or anyone, it's not personal. If I want to print the name, age, and salary of the employee using printf, how will you do that? So I'll start it for you. System.out.printf. I'll say name. After the name, format specifier will come, percentage. We're going to solve this in the next minute. Just so give me that minute. Percentage. Age. %d. Okay. And what was that? Salary. So salary with maybe 1 decimal point precision. Salary 0.1f. So this will be the format specifier as the first argument within the double quotes. Understood this much? Yes. And after that, like Suruchi has said, after that, what will come? How many inputs have to come? 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, none of above. How many inputs have to come? 3 inputs have to come. And how will you delimit? How will you separate those inputs? Commas or pluses? I mean, plus operator or comma. So does that answer the difference between println and printf to everyone so that there is no confusion hereafter? Got it? Okay. So now let me quickly revise the things which I was saying. Input stream is a class within. Then why to go? No. Rajvi, you are wrong. I have already answered that, but you will get a better understanding tomorrow when I talk about classes and object. System is the class which has the input type. It is kind of a, not kind of a, it is a has a relationship called as association. Employee has a address. Likewise, system class has the reference of the type input stream. But if I say all this, you will not understand a word today. So wait for the days when I reach the association has a relationship, and then you will understand it. So it's a ahead of topic question. Okay, so in API docs under the class system, it is said can be instantiated. Yes, Viraj, it says it cannot be instantiated means they have not supplied. Again, it is slightly ahead of time, but not so much. They have not supplied any visible, any accessible constructor. And if you say it cannot be instantiated, what should be all the methods? Should they be static methods or should they be non-static methods? Answer is class level as in static methods. So open the system class and you will see all the data members which are static and all the methods, all the functionalities are also static. So all these things you will get a better picture, better understanding once we actually go into the class programming. Okay. So input internal somewhat double is yet pending. So when I discuss primitive time, you will have that answer. Okay, so stop your questions for a while. I'll give you later a chance again. Otherwise, we don't move forward at all. So let me start asking you certain questions about scanner, and that is how I'm going to revise. So start with the basic most. What is a scanner? What is scanner? Is it a class or is it an interface or what it is? Everyone knows that it is a class. Sorry. Okay. So which package does it belong to? Simple questions I'm starting. It is from java.util. Do you have to import it? 100% yes. Everyone comfortable so far. Next question. What does, so this is what is scanner. But if anyone tells you that describe the functionality of the scanner, you know what is the standard question? This is a standard question, popular question. Standard answer is, it is text-based parser. Okay, so here again I would like to take the help of JavaDocs as always. So search here for scanner. See, each and every word you can't start understanding from the D1. Over time you will understand. So scanner is the class from java.util package. Always give the detailed answers in interview. So interview doesn't have to ask you further more things. And what is the functionality of the scanner? It is nothing but a text-based parser. So what it does is, it can read the data in the text format and parse. What is parsing? Convert. It can parse it into primitive types. And if you know about something called as regex, regular expressions, so it can also accept the regular expressions and convert the data, parse the data. So forget about regex part, regular expression part, but will your scanner be able to parse from string to double? It's a question, Boolean question, yes or no? Answer is yes. Will it be able to parse from string as in token, from the string token into integer? Answer is yes. You know the methods. Can it do the conversion? Can it read the string as it is without parsing? Yes. Which method? Which method to read the next string? sc.next. The next is the method name. If I want to read the complete line, what is the method to read? Next line. So it will, at that point, the delimiter would be, delimiter means people were asking me what is delimiter? A separator, comma, like you have Excel files, CSV, comma, separated values. So if you say next line, what is a delimiter? Whoever has already answered it, new line character. New line character is nothing but the separator. Okay, so what is scanner? Scanner is, I have mentioned it already in my readme towards the end. In between, we are going to do things. So read this twice if required. So here, accepts inputs from user. That is today's thing. Later, when I show you files, we can attach it to anything. So read this carefully. It is a class from which package? Java.util. And what does it represent is, it represents a text-based parser. But what does it have internally? It has inherent a small buffer, approximately size is 1K. Later, I will explain scanner versus buffered reader and all those things. Those are later days things. So when you create a scanner object, and when you have said scanner is equal to new scanner system.in, this scanner, which has the internal buffer, it will start the data reading from which data source? Nothing but the standard input. System.in is your standard input. So in short, you are creating the instance of the scanner, or you are attaching the scanner to your console input, to your standard input. Now read the next line. Can it parse the text data or binary data? Answer is, it can parse only the text data. But are we only limited to console input as in standard input? Answer is no. Scanner says, give me text data from any data source. So what are the typical data sources I'm talking about? Console input, that is your standard input, system.in. It could be a text file. It could be a socket. Socket is nothing but an endpoint of communication between your server and a client. So if you are suppose writing a chat application, just chat string, chat messages, you can attach your scanner to that, or you can just simply wrap the scanner, attach it to a string, and it can parse it into different data types. So in simple words, it is just a converter or a parser, text-based parser, which can read the data, text data, and convert it into primitive types. So the steps and all you know. So I'll not waste your time in steps. You can just read about it. Import it first. Create the instance of it by attaching it to the standard input. And now you must be knowing, if you don't know, you will know it now. I mean, it is because I don't know exactly what all has been discussed. You have two different types of methods. Okay. One is called as blocking methods. One is called as non-blocking methods. So somebody asked me, I think Sampada, I may be taking a wrong name. Sorry for that. So what is the meaning of a blocking API or blocking method? Any method which when you call, if it is causing the blocking of the code, it is called as the blocking method. So I thought of it, and some of you are saying, can I use Notepad and all? So I'm going to continue for today and tomorrow in Notepad. I'll not even open your VS Code so that everyone is on the same page. So let me open this on a Notepad and ask you a question. Okay, here it is. So listen to the question, guys. I gave this prompt to the user. Okay, and user simply keeps looking at the screen without entering any inputs. What will happen when this line of the code is executed? Can the execution continue or will it get blocked? Are you understanding it? So Sampada, if I have taken the name correctly, again, I don't know, I'm not sure. So here, what will you call this method, next double method? Is it a blocking method or is it a non-blocking method? Okay, Sampath, that was correct. It is a blocking API, blocking method. Okay, so that was the statement, right? So now I wanted to just tell you or repeat the internals. When you have used the scanner, what is the default separator? What is the default delimiter scanner internally uses to separate the tokens? Token is like a word. It's a white space. Agreed? Agreed means understood. So now, if you remember, I had given the two numbers 1.5. I'm just taking something 1.5 and 6.5 with a space as a limit. So when I say, I'll give you the inputs. Suppose I enter the inputs as 1.5 and let's say 5.6 something. So because there was confusion between what I said and what you interpreted or whatever, I don't know. And after that, I had pressed the enter. So anyone wants to tell me, when I say sc.next double, where is the scanner buffer pointer? Where it is pointing to? Is it pointing to the beginning of the buffer or end of the buffer? Of course, the beginning. Are you understanding? So yeah, you are right. 1.5. So it will read, listen to the words. It will read the first token. How does it know where the token ends? Space is the delimiter, right? Other than sc.next line, default delimiter is always the space. You can change it, by the way. So tell me, which is the first token it will read? 1.5. And you have said next double here. So which to which conversion? What to what parsing it will do? It will try to parse it from, tell me, what to what? String to double, exactly. Are you understanding? So you don't have to write double dot parse double or some such thing. Your scanner is fully capable of parsing the text data. Now repeat the next exercise. So now tell me, after you have done this, where is the buffer pointer? It is at the first, is it at the first token or is it on the second token? It is at the second token. So now when you say sc.next double for the second time, what is it going to read? It is going to read a string token. The string token I'm saying, because it's a character buffer. And so it will read 5.6 as a string and it will try to convert it into a double. It will try to parse it into double. So suppose I mess up and if I say AAA, anyone wants to tell me what will happen, runtime error or the output? Of course, runtime error. And you know, you have worked with the scanner for a long time, and that is when it is going to throw you, not your number format exception. That was for the double class input mismatch exception. And then since we are not doing any exception handling today or for initial few days, your code will simply abort. So are we clear on the scanner part which I said, whichever I revised? So like I said, guys, you know, it takes a little bit of time for me also to adjust to your wavelength and for you also to connect with me. And whatever, over the time, we've got like lot of days to spend on Java. So don't worry, everything will be covered. But ahead of topic questions, I will not answer. So otherwise, you know, it can confuse those who are totally freshers. I'm assuming that, yeah, actually, I'll answer you this. So that is the way I'm going to handle it. Parsing is conversion. Parsing is nothing but converting a string into some suitable data type. That's conversion. Command line invocations, I will repeat when I compile the code, not in between. So I think I have covered all the queries, earlier queries. So that is what it is. Okay, so now going ahead, you can run this. And anyway, people wanted command line invocation this. Okay, so everyone knows. Go to your SRC folder. I think you wanted this. So what is the command line invocation for Java compiler? Java C. Some of you have responded, so I did not really spend time on repeating this again. If you just press enter to Java C, it will give you all the options. So which is the option we are using here? -d, -d. It is after -d, a name of the directory, to specify where to add, where to place those generator classes. Okay. So I since somebody answered, so I thought everyone knows this. So Java C -d, then comes a space. 2 dots means what? Go to the parent directory. So which is the parent folder? D1. And then because I'm using Windows, I'm giving a backslash here, bin folder. And then comes the name of the file you want to compile. So I'm just using shortcut. So testscanner.java. Everyone is clear so far? So I have given we had already done that, just this is the repeat run. And since we are not dealing with the class path or anything today, I have to actually CD means change directory to the bin folder and run the classes, launch the classes from here. So CD is for change directory, 2 dots to take it to the parent folder and then take it to the bin folder. And then you launch it using Java is the command line invocation followed by name of the class containing the main method. Not file name, Girish. It's a wrong answer. Name of the class containing. How wrong it is, you'll understand after 10 minutes. So here, this is it. So this has to be case sensitive. So for example, I have to supply it as test scanner. And now, as you can see, okay, so let me ask you, just to confirm whether I'm reaching you at all. Can you tell me at which point the code is blocked? Can you tell me where is this code waiting? Where is this code blocked? Where is this blocking API? The not this, num1 is not the one. I would have accepted the answer as sc.nextDouble. This is where scanner is expecting you to enter the double, enter the some token, forget double, at least some token. So it is waiting for that. So now observe. So here, see this. I have just added some number. I can say 23 as well. Integer, int gets converted to double. Okay. Now, after that, default delimiter is space. You can, by the way, add the new line also. See this. I'm entering this. Now, anyone wants to tell me where is the code blocked for the next double? The next time I'm calling it. So here I'm giving the next input as, suppose I'll give the correct inputs this time. Okay, I can see whatever. And then you are getting the result. So that is your parsing. That is all about your scanner. Little bit more details than earlier. Now I hope you will be in a position to understand what I'm showing you. Let's check. So here I'm saying 12. And here the first double has been read, and just observe and conclude. Everything is in observing and concluding. So it is telling you that there is a runtime error in the main method. What is the name of the exception you are looking at? Input mismatch exception. These are the internal, this is the internal code, that scanner class. And actually you can see that it is being thrown at line number 11, which is nothing but your sc.nextDouble, because the parsing failed here. The type of the input did not match with the double. Are we 100% clear so far? Everyone is clear? Okay, great. So this is what is, this just a recap of what you have already done. So here, if you see today's help, I have given you, I'll be sharing all of this. So one of the important PPTs you have to go through, see Java tutorial slides, C++ versus Java. That is, if you want to know more, if you already have some idea about C++, what are the differences you're going to see? But if you are a fresher without any background of C++, you can skip that. But please don't skip this particular slide. So whatever I have covered, I'll just go over it. So this is why Java, which you know already. This is the development and execution cycle. This is where you write .java source file using the development tools from JDK, namely JavaC, Java compiler. The output is the .class file, platform independent Java bytecodes, which is given internally to the JVM. More on JVM architecture, what is that just-in-time compiler, how does it improvise the performance, all later. So this is definitely the part of a JRE. The JVM is part of the JRE, you know that, libraries and all. And then this particular output is given to the underlying operating system and the hardware. So this is typically your development and execution flow. So now we are entering the language basics. So whenever you are learning a new language, you know, these are the standard things. So out of it, so many things have been covered, but like variables or the loops and the if-else conditional statements and all. But I would definitely like to revise the data types in Java, because somebody was asking me double, how much precision and all that. So I don't want to, it may be a repeat run, but still we are going to do that. And other things such as whatever operators and all. Have you already looked at arithmetic operators, logical operators, and the bitwise operators earlier? Okay, so wherever it is required, ternary operators and all that, I will definitely revise, but I'm not spending immediate time on that. So next to that is, nobody expects you to remember all the keywords. There are more, I mean, whenever we come across new keyword, for example, implements or instance of, I'll explain that. This is the slide which you have to understand inside out. So let me just talk about it. You might be knowing it, like I'm not sure exactly, you know, how, what all has been done, but think of it as a revision if you already know about it. Treat it as an important slide. So we are talking about data types in Java. So you can see from the slide itself, what are the two different categories of data types in Java? Tell me. Answer is right in front of you. Quick revision of what? Quick revision later, Rohit. Just now I revised the scanner. That itself was a revision. So after that, I can't take a revision. Revision directly tomorrow now. So here, the two types are built-in primitive data types or the reference types. Okay. So answer the next question. When you talk about primitive data types, are they going to hold the values or address? Oh, you are talking about data types. Data types, Rohit, I'm not revising. I'm taking the full inside out things. It is a value holding type. For example, when I say int data or int number equal to 100, it's going to hold the value 100. When you say char ch equal to single quote a, it is going to hold that char value, character value, Unicode value, right? So it is a primitive data types is the value holding type. And now tell me, what will be held into reference type? Is it a value holding or address holding? Answer is, it is going to hold the address. So you might have heard the term pointers. So when you talk about pointers, what is a pointer? Pointer stores the address. It is just going to store the hold the address. So pointers and references both are going to hold the address. But here in Java, when you talk about reference types, these references are going to hold the address of the object which is created dynamically on the heap. So it is a tall statement. That's why I said objects, references, all tomorrow. I'll just repeat the line. Right now, I cannot give you in too much detail. I said, in Java, when you say a reference type of a variable, there is a primitive type of a variable, there is a reference type of a variable. So what will reference hold? Reference will hold the address, or reference will refer to, point to, or it will hold the address of what? Address of the object which is created dynamically. Dynamically means in the runtime. And you might be knowing that all Java objects are stored into a special memory area, which is that nothing but the heap. So references are going to refer to the references are nothing but the pointers, which will hold the address of the object dynamically created in the heap. You have done arrays. Arrays is what? First class objects in Java. Okay, so I'll come to that later. Later means exactly later is tomorrow. So reference types there are three types of references. One is the class type of reference, which is what we will start with tomorrow. The interface type of reference and array type of reference. So all of that tomorrow. Today we are going to only focus on primitive data types. So these are value holding types or address holding types. Those are going to be value holders. Okay. So now if you come down and look at the branching of this, sorry. So primitive data types are, one is the Boolean type, which is a non-numeric type, and the other second category is the numeric type. So tell me, you have used Booleans, I'm sure. It's not implemented by pointers. References are equivalent to pointers. They are nothing but pointers, but there is a difference. So all that tomorrow. Okay, coming back to this. Yeah, so tell me, what is the value of a Boolean? What all Boolean variable can hold? Only it can hold, not 0 or 1, wrong answer, true or false. Okay, so all it can hold is either true or false. And when you use your conditions like control statements or while condition or if condition and all that, in Java compiler is a strict compiler. It will allow you only the Boolean condition, Boolean type of a result. We'll talk about it with example. So Boolean internally may occupy how many bits or how many bytes it occupies. Answer is as per the JVM specification. Boolean data type occupies number of bytes as per the internal JVM specification, which can vary from one platform to another platform. So your answer is wrong. It may be occupying 1 byte in general, but you can't quote it as an interview answer. So Boolean data type is as per the JVM specification, which may differ from JVM implementation to another. It might be occupying 1 bit, or it might be occupying a complete byte. It is as per the internal of the JVM. But all other built-in types, such as all other these numeric types, have the exact number of bytes allocated. So Boolean is actually the keyword is lowercase Boolean, and the value it can hold. Yes, it can. So it is totally up to the JVM which you are using, Rishikesh. Next one, numeric type. So numeric types, you have integral type and the floating points. So the first one, there is a spelling mistake here, character type. So anyone wants to answer? The keyword is char, I'm telling you already. How many bytes a Java character occupies? It occupies, somebody said 1 byte, wrong answer. It's 2 bytes. It occupies 2 bytes in the memory. And is it a signed character or is it an unsigned character? It is an unsigned character. Wrong answer. It is an unsigned character. So you have the full range of 0 to 64K, 65535. Okay. And why it uses 2 characters instead of 1 character? Answer is because Java supports Unicode character encoding or internationalization. For example, if we use, for example, Marathi, Hindi, it uses Devanagari script, Asian languages. If you think about Chinese or Japanese and all these, so all these scripts cannot be fitting into a single character. So to support universal, Unicode means universal coding, character coding standards, Java character is 2 bytes in length. Okay. So this is your unsigned character having the range of 0 to 64 key. So when I take you to, advanced Java, when we write the server side web application, you can give the links, for example, Marathi, Hindi, Gujarati, or French or German and all, and you can do the conversion, you can do the translation of the entire page using this character encoding. Now, these remaining types, talk about these remaining types. Let's, I'll just cover these many. So these are the integer types, integral types. So start answering the questions. So here, these types from byte to long, are they signed or are they unsigned? Answer is they are signed. So which signing convention it uses? which is the convention it uses to store numbers. By the way, I'm not saying anything which is new in Java. It is same in C, C++, Python, Java, all the languages, all computers do it in the same, I mean, all the technologies do it in the same manner. It is using 2's complement format. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So here, what is the, where is the sign bit? Tell me. Sign bit, is it a most significant bit or is it a least significant bit? It is the most significant bit. So answer the next question. If the MSB is 0, is it a positive number or is it a negative number? Answer it is a positive number. And if it is 1, what is it? It's a negative number, obviously. Okay, so understand the statement correctly. So here, from byte to double, they are signed data types. When I say signed data types, the most significant bit is the sign bit. And depending on 0 or 1, it represents a positive number or a negative number. So just a quick question. What is the understanding? What is the meaning of 2's complement? I will give you this number. Suppose the number is, no, negative number is not the answer. I want the exact this. If just give me a minute, I'm telling you, suppose you take the exactly 1's complement plus 1. So I have a question for you. Suppose I want to represent -4. Simple question, -4. So what is it? How will you do that? So here, suppose I say, I have pen open somewhere. How do I represent this number? This is just a whiteboard. So I want to represent plus. Okay, let's start with +4. Simple things I'm saying. So suppose I want to represent +4. Split it into binary. First, let us start with plus number. So here it is. Okay, before I go ahead, I'm talking about the byte which occupies single byte. So 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 0, 0. The binary convention, if anyone is uncomfortable in that, yes, I'm coming to that. You should be, you just Google how the computers store the numbers internally and you will get all of that. So here, the nibble, these are called as nibbles. So this is the lower nibble, this is the upper nibble. I'm talking about a byte, so accordingly. So this is your positive number stored. Okay, now how about, has everyone understood how it stores the positive number? Exactly, you are giving me the answer, right? So this is your positive number. Now I want to store -4. So what we do is, we start with this binary representation. People are already giving me. I'm just taking a little bit of time to confirm that everyone understands it. So first you take the 1's complement. Sorry. So what is that 1's complement? Simply toggle 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. So what it will be? Correct me if I make a mess. 3, 4, 5 and 0, 1, 1. Everyone is clear? And then what is it you add is +1. So here I'll just do that in a proper manner so everyone understands it. So here all I'm going to add is plus and here 1. Got this? So now what will be the output here? Give me the output now. So 1 plus 1 here, what it will be is 0. You can give me the number here. Anyway, I'll do it for you. So 1 plus 1 is 0. Carry. So 1 plus 1 is 0 again here. I'm having this. Then here it becomes 1. I hope you are just adding the 1 here and the remaining parts are the same. So 3 I have got. So this are the same. Oh, sorry. Okay. Is it matching with your computation? Am I doing it correctly? Okay. So this is how all negative numbers are stored. This is nothing but your 2's complement. So if I have, of course, taken for simple arithmetic, you can take a larger number, convert it into binary, and just take the 2's complement. That is how the negative numbers are stored. Going back on the track. So now tell me, what is the range? Okay, before I ask you the question, as a small input. So how many bytes are memory allocated for the data type byte? How many bytes are memory allocated? Answer is 1. Somebody said 4, wrong answer. So 1 is the correct answer. How many bytes are allocated for short? Answer is 2. How many for int? 4. And how many bytes are allocated for long? Answer is 8. Everyone is clear? So now think and answer. They are all signed numbers. So can anyone tell me what will be the range of the byte? Very right answer is not minus 127, minus 128 to 127. How do we arrive at this number? When I say here when I say byte, so what is it? It's a byte. So okay, I'll just see it as so I'll say 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, I'm just numbering it. So this is 0th bit. This is the most significant bit. Everyone is understanding it? But most significant bit, so have I done it correctly? Yeah. So MSB is reserved for what? Sign bit. So out of 8 bits, 1 bit is gone. 1 bit, most significant bit, that 7th bit is gone for what? Signing. So how many bits we are left with? Simple question, simple answer, 7. For actual data, only 7. So what will be the range? Minus 2 raised to 7. So here it is minus 2 raised to 7. There is a 0. So minus 2 raised to 7 to 2 raised to 7 minus 1, which somebody had already answered, minus 128 to 127. Is everyone clear with the values? Absolutely correct. You are clear? So tell me the range of short. Tell me into raised to format. Yeah, that Amol is the actual value. Please tell me. You are absolutely right. But I need it from everyone. Yeah. That is actual number. I want in the exponential format, exponent format. Minus 2 raised to. Short is how many bits? 16. 1 bit is gone for this thing, signing. So we are left with 15, right? So minus 2 raised to 15 to 2 raised to 15 minus 1, which is of course 32k. You got that? And likewise, you have integer minus 2 raised to what it is? For integer, what it will be? What will be the range for integer, guys? Minus 2 raised to 31. 32 is a wrong answer, Yash. 1 bit is gone for signing to 2 raised to 31 minus 1. And for long, it will be minus 2 raised to 63. Long is 8 bytes long, right? And 2 raised to 63 minus 1. So this is your simple representation of integral numbers. So here, when you go through my readmes and all that, so here you will see data type ranges. So whatever I have said is already mentioned in that. But things become little more complex when you shift to the floating data types. So here, which are the floating data types your Java supports, like C as well as C++? 0 changes, float and double. So which one is for single precision arithmetic and which one is for double precision arithmetic? Obvious question. Float is for single precision, double is for double precision. But how are these data types actually stored? 100% you should know. So here is the data representation for float. So take a look at it. When I say float, float occupies 4 bytes in the memory. So 8 4s are 32. So you start with 0 to 31. The numbers start with from 0 to 31. Everyone with me? The 31st bit, MSB, is a sign bit. So 1 bit is gone. Now, how many bits are reserved for exponent? Is the 8 bits. It's a single precision. And the remaining 23 bits are reserved for mantissa or your fractional part. So this is the organization of your floating data type, float type of a data type in Java, which is single precision floating point number. So this is for the single precision, exactly mantissa, or you can say fractional part. So here, this is having the range from 0 to 31 as it is drawn. But if you go for example, trigonometric functionality, yes, IEEE format, exactly. IEEE is general, Shubham. IEEE 756 is the actual format specifier name. So the next one is now the double precision one. So that double precision representation is, as you can see, double occupies how many bytes in the memory? 8 bytes. So we have the range from 0 to 63. MSB is gone for signing. And now you can see the range was earlier, how many bits were there for exponent? 8 bits. Now the range is increased to 11 bits. So the double, in the double precision floating point number, 11 bits are reserved for exponent part and remaining 52 bits are reserved for your fraction part. So wherever you require to find out the square root or trigonometric functionalities, or anytime you require a double precision number, typically you are going to use double as the data type. So this is what I wanted to, you can say, revise or explain or whatever regarding primitive types. So 1 minute recap. Already there is a slide for you in front of you. So tell me, what are the two distinct categories of data types in Java? Quick one, this has to be, right? So which are the two categories? Primitive types and the reference type. Primitive are the built-in types. Reference types are typically user-defined, or reference types are different, separate. So tell me, what is it? User-defined types, exactly. But it can be, let's keep it as user-defined, fine. Now, what is it which is primitive types hold what? Value or address, B or A. What does a reference type of a variable hold? Address. What does it hold is the address. Okay, fine. Next question. Address of what? References hold the address of, tell me, address of the object. Can you create, this is an ahead of type topic question, so excuse me for that. Does Java allow you to create the object statically or dynamically? Vaishnavi has already answered that. Answer is dynamically at runtime. Okay, so dynamically created objects are kept on the heap, and references just hold a pointer, the address, to refer to the dynamically created object created on the heap. Okay, where does this references lie? 100% it is not guaranteed that it is on the stack. You may have it in the heap also. Wait for association, composition, and containment and all that, and you will understand what I'm saying. So right now, don't worry about references and objects so much. So focus your attention to primitive types. What are the two different categories of primitive types, please? If there is a new object, you mean, Abhijit, then it is on heap. It is non-numeric, which is Boolean, and the numeric. Boolean occupies how many bits or how many bytes in the memory? Again, you are saying that. Guys, I just now said it is as per the underlying JVM specification. Depends on which type of a JVM, 32-bit, 64-bit, or whichever type of JVM. As per the JVM specification, which could be typically 1 byte, 2 bytes, or 4 bytes, whatever, or simply 1 bit. Next one. When you come to integral types, what are the values a Boolean can hold? 0, 1, or true, false? True, false is the correct answer. Next question. How many bytes a character type of char occupies? It's a 2 byte. Signed or unsigned? Unsigned. So what is the range of it? 0 to 2 raised to 63 minus 1. That is 65535, 64K. Everyone gets it? Next one. And in Java, why character is 2 bytes instead of 1 bytes? To support universal character encoding standard. In simple words, to support internationalization. To accommodate all different types of universal encoding, character encoding, Java had to. ASCII character set, Abhijit, is only 1 byte, 1 single byte. So we are not talking about ASCII. Just Google Unicode, Universal Coding Convention. You will get a Wikipedia page, which tells you the complete character encoding syntax. I have a slide somewhere. I'll share it with you. So it is much larger. It cannot fit it in a single byte. So it has been expanded to 2 bytes. Next one, byte, short, int and long. How many bytes each of them represent? Each of them are requiring 1248. All of them are signed or unsigned. Where is that sign bit? Most significant. +1. I'm so sorry. 1 represents what? Positive number or a negative number? Negative number. 1 I said the MSB is 1. It's a negative number. Just now we derived that 2's complement. And if it is 0, it is taken as the positive number. And how are the negative numbers represented? Using 2's complement mechanism, which is nothing but take the 1's complement and add 1 to it. That's your 2's complement computation. And we have covered that byte, int, yeah, byte, short and all that, right? And then you have the real or the floating point data types, which are the 2 categories. Under floating point, float and double. How many bytes a float occupies? 4. And how many bytes the double occupies? 8. And you have seen the sign bit remains the same, most significant type, most significant bit I meant. And then you have either 8 or 11 bits of that exponent, and remaining bits are reserved for mantissa or the fractional part. So this is a compulsory understanding for everyone. So this is I'm just focusing today on the primitive types. Reference types will be dealt with tomorrow when we enter the class programming. So this slide has all the details. How many bits are occupied? Character, a Unicode character, strings I'm not covering today. Data types. Here I have said 1 bit, but it is correct answer is it is as per the underlying JVM specification. So ignore that. This is not 100% correct statement. Variable. You have created so many variables in your COP module. So just take a look at it and confirm whether you understand. This is nothing but you're declaring a variable of the integer type. This is where you are assigning the value. This is where you are initializing the variable of the character type. This is where you are initializing it to the double value or a float value and likewise. So everyone understands initialization of a variable as well as assignment. If anyone wants anytime a recap, please go through these slides. This is very much important. You have been writing Java code before you started with me, but I hope you are following the naming conventions. I'm telling you a practical example, practical scenario. We just now finished with your seniors batch and all, and then you are going to learn the what is it called? Advanced frameworks like Spring, Hibernate. Mantissa is the fractional part, Shubham. Fractional part of it is Mantissa. So that is a basics about any numbering system. So look up, it's fractional part as I explained. So in short, if you don't follow the naming conventions in core Java, you won't get any problems. I mean, compiler will not give you errors. There won't be any issues. But the advanced frameworks, which I'm going to show you in advanced Java, Spring, Hibernate, JPA, so many frameworks you're going to learn with me. So they definitely rely on these naming conventions. So follow them to the T and start it right from the first day. So you will not suffer when we actually start applying it to your projects and all. Okay, so coming back to the point, you don't know what is interface enum and also forget that. Everyone knows the class. So what is the naming convention for the classes? The first letter, it has to start with a uppercase and then follow the camel casing. So already I've taken the example of hello world, H and W uppercase. I don't want to see, I'll be in the lab also, camel case notation exactly, but starting with the first letter uppercase. You're going to learn JavaScript in your web programming technology section. Same thing is applicable in JavaScript also. Next one, data members. Whenever you declare any data member or anytime you declare any behavior such as methods or a function, it should start with what? It should start with lowercase letter and then go camel casing. So, for example, if you write a class such as employee, okay, class employee. Employee has a name, it has a salary, it has address, the birth date, join date, etc. And employee has a performance index. Okay, how you are performing, maybe on the scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever. So if you declare a performance index as a double, so what should be the naming convention? Start with lowercase letter and the first, then follow the camel casing. The first letter of the every consecutive word should be uppercase. I'm not going to help you if you don't follow these conventions in the lab session, and I will request all other lab faculties about the same. Guys, I'm all doing this in your interest so that later you don't suffer. Same rule is for method names. So method name should start with lowercase and then go camel casing. Everyone is clear with the things? Class names, later interfaces, enums, other types I'll discuss. Start with uppercase, go camel casing. Data members and the functions which we call it as methods in Java, start with lowercase, follow camel casing. And then whenever we declare a constant, there's a keyword called as final. More on it later. Constants are typically declared all uppercase. So, you have pi constant math, 3.1414. So this is the example of it. Are the naming conventions clear to everyone? And are you going to follow them 100%? I'm saying it has to be done clearly, yes. Because otherwise, later, when people, ask for project help and all, this part is not working. Most of the time, I find out that the naming convention was not followed, and all Java frameworks rely heavily on naming convention. So, guys, take it seriously. Take these naming conventions very much seriously. Now, whenever you declare an identifier, like in C, C++, this is all C family languages. So all the rules, if you have little bit of C programming, which is expected by the way, you know these rules already. So identifiers can start with a letter, that is what we typically do, or it can start with a dollar, and the connecting characters between can be underscore. But can they start with a number? Answer is not allowed. So what will you get if you started with a number is a compiler error. Okay, so these are the rules. So because if you are given a quick question for identify the valid identifiers or find out which are the valid ones, you should know these rules. If you are using any keywords, for example, if or while or true or false or whatever, you can't use them as the identifiers. Again, the code will break. Code will break means it's a wrong term. Compiler will give you the error. And are these identifiers case sensitive? 100% yes. All the statements made are clear. Next one. The real meaning of access specifiers will come, I'll tell you, maybe tomorrow. Whenever I enter the packages, I cover packages and access specifiers, but you already know a little bit about it. So don't think that I'm going to cover it in such a what do you say, superficial manner. We are going to spend good amount of time on that. But since you know about it already, anyone wants to tell me, when I say private access specifier, what is the meaning of private access specifier? You can access it only within the class. Absolutely correct. If you don't add any access specifier, what is the default scope? What is the implicit keyword? Default, right? So what is the default access specifier? Inside, within the same package. But you will understand tomorrow, package is nothing but a folder in Java. When you learn JavaScript, you have something called as modules and all that. Anyway, let me not talk in JavaScript. Let me talk in only Java. So when you have any member, data member or method, which is marked with default, that is no access specifier, it is accessible within the same package. Next one. Yes, absolutely correct, Akshay. Next one. Yeah, protected. What is the protected one? Protected can be accessed within the same package also, or can be accessed outside the package, but bound by inheritance. I told you, these are all ahead of time to this, because we are going to spend a day each, at least a day each, on class programming, inheritance, abstraction, and all that. Those are the pillars of your further work. So when I talk about inheritance, you'll understand. And public is easiest. Public members, you can access it from anywhere. Okay. So now the level 2. So out of these 4, which are the only 2 which are applicable at the class level? You can either call it as default. Default means no access specifier within the current package only, or public classes can be accessed from anywhere. So default means limited to current package, current folder. Package is nothing but the folder, and public classes are accessible from anywhere. So now I'm asking you popular questions. Already there are answers below, but anyway, so let me ask you. Can you create a Java source file, such as, I'm going to show you immediately by, all these rules have to be confirmed, otherwise there's no fun. Okay, so can you create test.java and add class A, class B, class C, and class D in that? Can you have multiple default classes in a single source file? 100% yes. Okay. So when you compile, how will you compile this source file? Anyone wants to tell me? I know Java C, of course. Java C -d /bin. That I'm telling you. You just tell me. No, wrong answer. I said compile, guys. Wake up. Compile. How will you compile? Java C -d. There's no package, Rohit, where we are talking about packages today. -d /bin test.java. You have to give the name of the file. Exactly, Prashant. So that was test.java. If there are no compiler errors, how many .class files will be there in the bin folder? Test.class, A.class, B.class, C.class, D.class, all of above, none of above, whatever. And I'm going to take, if you're not clear, I'm going to do this example in a minute. I'm just checking your clarity. Answer is 4 classes would be there. There's no concept of main Nutan. You are still confused. So test.java, if it is containing class A, class B, class C, class D, which .class files, how many .class files will be created? Answer is 4. Which 4? A.class. There's no public here, Swati. I said default access specifier I'm asking you. Okay. So A.class, B.class, C.class, D.class. Since people are giving me wrong answers, let me show you. And if I use VS Code, it immediately shows the compiler errors, and then I lose the chance to ask you a question. So let me what? Let me just create this new one. Focus. Because sometimes the question, if it is not clear, you won't enjoy it. After that, there should not be any ambiguity. I've written them as the rules. Anyway, but it's good to try it out. Instead of remembering rules or memorizing rules, it's always better to understand it. That way you will never make mistake. I'll save it as T1 SRC. Let's call it as test1.java. Okay. So test1.java, this is fine. Okay, sorry, I said test, but I'll start a test series like a test1, test2, test3 and all that. So I'm just saying it this. So are you understanding the inputs? What is the name of the file, source file name? test1.java. And here, what is the name of what are the classes I have included in that? 4 classes. So let's stop having vague conversation and all that. Tell me. So for compilation, where should you always go? To the SRC folder. Now tell me, how will I compile? So this part I'm doing it for you. Just give me, should I say A.java, B.java, C.java, or D.java, or none of above? Answer is none of above. What is the name of the source file? This is the source file name, which is test1. Oh, sorry. Look at me. Test1.java. You getting this? I hope you are understanding. All classes are empty. Compiler hardly cares. Compiler doesn't care for it at all. And if you go to the bin folder, just a second. If you go for the bin, if you go to bin folder and if you say directory, this is the question I was asking you. Simple question. Are you seeing anywhere test1.class? How can it be? Java compiler simply produces the bytecode file, the .class file for every class. When I take you to the nested class, we will speak differently. We'll talk about it later in the advanced topics. So can you all see ABCD classes? And will I be able to run any of them? For example, what will happen if I say Java A? Age-old question, same old question. What will I get? Of course, a runtime error. Are you understanding? Because there's no main method. So none of the classes are runnable simply because there's no main method there. But that was not the question. I was asking you, can one source file, now understand, can one source file contain multiple default classes? It's a Boolean question, yes or no? Answer is yes. Is there any, next question I'm asking, is there any rule such as the default class name should match with the file name? Answer is capital no. Capital no means absolutely not. Okay, so that is about your default classes. So default class and default class name and the file name need not match. As a good programming practice, we will match it. But the point is understanding compiler rules. So that doesn't matter. That is not required. Now observe and conclude. So I'll just create a copy of it. Or okay, I'll just make a change here. So now tell me what will happen. When I say what will happen, compile time error, runtime error, or none of above? None of above. Compile time error is the answer. What is the rule? The rule is the name of the public class has to match, or the public class has to be declared in the file name same as the class name. So name of the file, source file, and name of the public class has to match. Confirm. Best is confirm. If you have already done all this confirmation, very good this. Otherwise, you spend time with me today in the lab and confirm all these things. So let us go ahead and compile this again. And it tells you so clearly. These are all the basics today we are handling. So what it is saying is class B is public and should be declared in the file named b.java. Everyone is understanding this? Is everyone getting the compiler error? So public class name and the file name has to match. So if I want to rectify it, what should be the rectification? I can simply rename. So here, let me go there. SRC. And look at this. I should rename it to what? What should be the new name? I hope everyone is understanding this. b.java. And if I compile this now, of course it will compile. 100% clear? Wait a second, this one, Akash. So the next question. Can you have multiple default classes in, actually it's the same question. Can you have multiple default classes in the same source file? Boolean question, yes or no? The real next question is, can you have multiple public classes in the same source file? Of course, the answer is no. How can it allow? Because the public class name has to match with the source file name. When I say this, don't take anyone. at the face value, or don't just trust blindly. Try it out. It just takes you a minute. And you can try that again. Let's save this. And you can see this again. What? I don't think I saved it. I messed up. What did I? Oh, I saved it into test one. I should open. My bad. Which one I wanted to open? B.java. Okay. And here I wanted to. Okay. I changed into something else. So are you understanding it? So somebody was asking me, what if there are two public classes? Answer is simple and easy and clear. So there can be at the most one public class. There's no requirement that you have to have a public class. Public class typically represents a standalone specific functionality, which is a standalone functionality. So if you want to define a standalone functionality, typically, and if you want the public access, public scope accessible from anywhere, you will go for it. So these rules is what I mentioned. Some rules you'll understand today, some rules you won't. So ignore this rule because I have not yet shown you the example. So please ignore, read this and tell me clear or lost. Answer the question. The first one, ignore. The second one, I'm saying clear to everyone. I want more responses. If not, like ask the question. Next one. Non-public means default. So can a file have more than one non-public is equal to default classes? Yes. How many public classes per source code file? Exactly one. And what is the rule here? Read this slowly. The name of the file, you've seen it with example already. Is it clear? Great. So I don't have to waste time in that. Okay. So this is what you have to remember. Remember in the sense, don't try remembering things. Just understand things. Next one. So I'll create a new one. Actually, what I'll do is, give me a second here. Just give me 2 minutes, okay? Making the modifications. Just to confirm the rule. And I'm saving it. I've got it as a public class. So what should be the source file name? S2. Okay, so focus and tell me what will happen. Question is, I hope clear. Compile time error, runtime error, or the output? Error is vague. I'm not accepting this answer, guys. You have to be smart. You have to be specific. It is a compile time error. Can you tell me, will you get a compile time error for this line number 1, or will this be for line number 2? 1 or 2? Answer is 2. Because what is the reason? The reason is, okay, before I tell you the reason, you let me ask you. When you declare this number 1 within this method, what is it? Is it a local variable or is it not a local variable? It is a local variable. The actual word is method local variable. Next question. Where are these method local variables stored? Your choices are stack, heap, stack or heap. Forget method area. Of course, on the stack. Method local variables are of course pushed on the stack. And will there be any default? Will there be any default value assigned to method local variable? Answer is no. And what is the rule of the compiler? Anytime you try to access any uninitialized variable, you will definitely get a compiler error here. Okay, confirm. And because in the they might give you in the I'm talking about CCEE, the end module exam and all, lot of complex code, and the real question, real concept could be as simple as this. So let me try to compile it and show you. It tells you so clearly. So there is no ambiguity if you just focus on trying out things. It is telling you that variable number 1 might not have been initialized. So it is giving you SOP number 1 Java compiler error. Are we 100% clear? So you have not yet explicitly initialized it. This is what is the first rule about. So now you read it, and I'm sure everyone will understand. Java compiler doesn't allow accessing of uninitialized data members. 100% clear on this rule? Okay, great. And method local variables are by default uninitialized. So that is the statement. Now answer the next question. So this was the first one. Now I'll just comment it. So I don't have to make different things. I'll just do something. Typical, these are all the typical questions, first day questions, kind of a thing. Such times, I do miss ID, so much of typing. Anyway. It's no automatic formatting and all. Okay. Question is the same. What will happen? So choices are, if condition is missing, I've written if. Okay, anyway, so don't tell me that. I have given you 3 options: compile time error, runtime error, or some output. Answer is compile time error. Why? Because I told you, Java, if you are coming to me from C++ or C, Java compiler is a stricter one. This line would have worked in C or C++, right? So here it is, Java compiler goes by the data types. So tell me, what is the data type of count? Int. Is it initialized or uninitialized? It is initialized. So that is not a problem. But what does a if condition? What does a if taken? Only the Boolean result. So tell me, can you automatically convert into Boolean? Absolutely not. One is numeric, one is non-numeric. So here you will have to actually, you can only supply a Boolean condition. So if you do this, 100% you will see Java C error. These are the small points, but if you're not aware of it, you might lose marks, or you might, you might end up giving wrong answer. So I'm just trying to caution you on that. I forgot whether I saved it or not. Otherwise, you get confused. So see this? Are you understanding the statement? Read, focus on that compiler error. Don't just say, okay, compiler error, fine. Read that error. Incompatible types. It is telling you so clearly, int cannot be converted to Boolean because one is numeric, one is non-numeric. And what if condition or your while condition requires is a Boolean condition, Boolean type. 100% clear? So this won't be happening automatically. You will have to convert it into Boolean. So I'm not saying about parsing it this time. So let me just open my code. So suppose if the count is 100, then I want to print yes. So here everyone knows logical equality. So if the count is equal to 100, now tell me, compile time error, runtime error, or the output? This time it will be output, right? So here, because this condition, let me ask you, what is the data type here? Int. But what is the data type of this highlighted code? Anyone wants to tell me? A Boolean. So no JavaScript error this time. Are you getting it? And of course, since I've given the value 100, it is going to print yes. Idea is not the output. Idea is to tell you or to caution you about the working of the compiler. But since we are, you should test it also naturally. And what was it? S2 ordinary output. Output is not important. The rule is, or the understanding is important. 100% of you with me? Logical operator converts it into Boolean, a condition you are giving. 100% here. Next ones. So now, just copy this. Test, or I'll give a better name. Test primitive types. You just have to follow. I'll just type something, and all I'm going to ask you is compile time error or no error. Focus accordingly. Primitive types. If I make a spelling mistakes, do show. Okay, so test primitive types, fine. Okay, otherwise, you'll lose this. So let me just start with something. Typical, all these are very typical things. I can either write, okay, let me keep it. I was going to write 0x, hex 10 and all. Forget hex representation, byte B110. So start answering the question fast. Compile time error or no error? No error. Class name I have not given same, test primitive type. I think I have given the same names. Okay, so no compiler error. If I make it as, tell me, compile time error or no error? Compile time error. You are absolutely right. Why? What is the range? Minus 128 to 127. So the moment it is outside the byte range, implicitly what is it called? The default data type, your compiler takes it as an integer. So it will treat the right hand side type. It will treat it as an int. It is called, there's a concept called as automatic promotion, which I'll tell you in a minute. So the point is, it will take the RHS as int, and int you are trying to narrow down to byte, which is definitely not allowed, not required. So you will get again incompatibility error. Confirm? Now there is nothing about running it. It is all about understanding the things. So check this. C-D /bin. This part is the same. Okay. Test primitive types. Oh no, I saved it into .text file. Give me a second here. I forgot at the time of saving it. Just a second, I'll rename it. Okay. So let me try to compile it. So now focus. It is telling you so clearly, you should be watchful. Incompatible types. Don't just stop here. Read the further things. Possible lossy conversion from what to what? From int to byte. So the moment it exceeds the range of the byte, what is it treating? What is it treating the RHS as? What is that data type it is treating it as? Is it taking it as a byte or is it taking it as an integer? It is taking it as an integer, and into byte is not a automatic conversion, because you are going from a larger range of values to the smaller range of values. So compiler throws you out. But the moment you do it within the range, which is the range of the bytes you already know, so then that works perfectly. So you give anything from minus 128 to 127, there won't be any issues. So let me now ask you further. So I hope why you got a compiler error this time. You can play with it. I'll be sharing a lot of things. So you just change it and you confirm whatever we said was correct or not. So here there is no compiler error. I'll actually make it even simpler. Next one. Okay. So for these two lines, compiler error, no error, obviously the answer is no error. The real question is here. This is all you should know as the basic prerequisites. So tell me, on the third line, this is line number 3, suppose compile time error or no error. So generally I get, not generally, all the time I get the answer as no error. Real answer is compile time error. So you have to understand what is the point or what is it. I mean, why there is a compile time error. So here comes a very important topic called as conversions. You have done primitive types already, but you have to understand these conversions regarding the primitive types. So today being our first day, I'm talking about all primitive types, and more interesting variety we will start discussing tomorrow onwards. So listen to this carefully. This is a hot topic, favorite topic of exam setters. So there are two types of conversions. One is called as automatic conversion or called as widening conversions, or they are also called as automatic promotions. All the words mean the same. So can byte be automatically converted to, can it be automatically promoted to short? Yes. Can it be promoted, short be promoted to int? Answer is yes. Long to float and float to double. Because it is a double precision type, you can convert, I mean, not you, compiler implicitly can promote the byte to double, byte to short, byte to int, or short to int. This is all allowed. Character to int is also considered as automatic promotion. So here, the question I typically get is, why long to float is considered as automatic promotions? But that question is currently, I'll keep it pending. I will tell you the rules, because that rule will automatically give you the answer. So what is the rule for the compiler to do the automatic conversion? This is the rule. The rule is source type and the destination type. Source and the destination types must be compatible. So tell me, will you be able to convert? Will your compiler be able to convert from Boolean to int? Non-numeric to numeric. It's a yes, no question answer. Of course not. How they are not compatible. So that is gone. But int, byte to int, they are compatible. And the second rule is the destination data type should be able to hold larger magnitude, means larger range of values than the source type. So tell me, what are the range of values a byte holds? Byte holds minus 128 to 127. Okay. What is the type? That is what example is what is being discussed, Girish. So pay attention. So here, what is it? The value range of the values the integer holds. Minus 2 raised to what is it? This thing. 31 to 2 raised to 31 minus 1. Right? So it is definitely holding. That is why byte to int or short to int is all automatic promotion. Okay. So this is the basic rule, and there are side rules. Side rules means I've just highlighted in simple points. The whole thing started with an example, so have a little bit of patience. So this is what you have to read twice. Twice in the sense it's important one. So any arithmetic operation which has the operands of the type byte, so byte and byte, or byte and short, or short and short, the result is automatically promoted to int. I'll repeat, I'll just read this and I'll repeat this again because it's an important rule. I said any arithmetic operation which involves the operands such as byte and byte, short and short, byte and short together, what will be the resulting data type? What is the resulting data type is int. So only focus on this rule and tell me again in these 3 lines, line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, compile time error or no error? Answer is compile time error on line number 3. So anyone wants to tell me what is the type of the RHS which it has got automatically promoted to? The RHS type is nothing but integer. And what is the type of the LHS? Is the byte. And can int be converted implicitly into a byte? Of course not. It is incompatible, lossy conversion, and that is where compiler throws you out, or that is why you get a Java compiler error. Unless until you know these rules, you won't be able to solve. Okay, so confirm please. It tells you so clearly. Read carefully. Error, incompatible types, possible lossy conversion. Read this twice if required, from int to byte. So which is the int type? Why it is suddenly int? Because of automatic promotion rule. In Java, integer is taken as the most optimized data type. So the compiler rule or the syntactical rule is any operation involving bytes or shorts will be automatically promoted to int. So right hand side data type is int, LHS is byte. That is why incompatible, and that is why compiler error. So focus only on one statement at a time and tell me. Solution, I'll come to Abhijit in a minute. So is the problem clear? Unsigned bytes? No, there's no unsigned byte at all. Rajiv, when you say byte b1 equal to 10, it is plus 10 implicitly. I already explained this when I was discussing the slide. The byte to double are all signed data types. If the MSB is 0, it is automatically taken as positive number. Okay. You are Sania, you are confusing in the direction. Here, tell me Sania, are we trying to convert here from byte to int or int to byte? B to I or I to B? I'm talking to Sania. Byte to int, maybe that is why exactly you're confused. Guys, come on, wake up. This is the basic thing. Whenever you are saying byte B3 equal to B1 plus B2, is it RHS getting assigned to LHS or is it LHS getting assigned to RHS? So LHS value you are assigning it to, LHS is getting the value of RHS. So int value you are trying to narrow it down to byte. So how will it automatically allow? Actually, your question was really this basic one. Integer occupies 4 bytes. So if you directly convert a int to byte, aren't you going to lose the first 3 most significant bytes? That is why the rule. So it will not allow you automatically. But is there any way to get rid of this compile time error? Is there any way where I can solve this compile? I don't want to see this compile time error. Okay, so here I'll keep this under comment. So you can of course uncomment it and spend time in the lab on this. So tell me, is there any solution? Answer is yes. I want to hear that solution. Let me see what you're saying. So here, don't use the words Abhijit this time. I want the actual solution in Java. Talk to me in Java. So there are 2 possibilities. I can either change this to int, and it will definitely work. Are you getting it? See, now if you actually compute the values, 10 plus 20 is 30. 30 can very much reside into byte range, but because of the rule, byte and byte arithmetic automatically promoted to it, we had to widen this. So answer this. Will this work? Compile error or no compiler error? Answer is no JavaC error. Is there any other solution? Of course, yes. I'll just suppose I say byte B4. Anyone? Can I do something on the right hand side? Answer is yes. That is where your typecasting comes in. So this type is int. Okay. So you can force the compiler. That is called as the narrowing conversion. You are narrowing from integer to byte. You are telling the compiler, I'm okay with loss of precision. So here, how do you add the typecast? Simply make it byte. And here also, you won't get any compiler error. I'm keeping everything in front of you. Okay, so what I'll do is, yeah, anyway, I'll just keep it. You can comment that and confirm. So here, what is the RHS type, guys? Int. Assigned to int. Absolutely fine. What is the type, data type of the highlighted one? Still int. What is it? You have narrowed it to byte. Is it matching with the LHS data type? Answer is yes. Java compiler just goes by the data types. So let's see what it has to say now. I have already said, but I'm just going for the confirmation. So is everyone clear? Typecasting is totally different than parsing. Parsing means you're actually converting from string to the primitive type, Gaurav. Typecasting means you are asking the compiler to lose some of the precision, some of the most significant bytes. That is your typecasting. Typecasting, you tell me, Gaurav, can you, if you want to convert from string to int, because again you are stuck there, what will you use? Typecast or parsing? Answer your own question. If I want to convert from string to int, string and integer are incompatible. So typecasting will not work. A parsing has to happen. You got your answer, I hope. Next one. So a quick recap. What will be the data type, resulting data type of if the two operands are byte and byte? Resulting data type. Byte and short. Somebody said byte here. Answer is integer. Short and short. Integer. Now let me try. Let me venture more. Okay. Short and int. It's not difficult. So don't do this thing. Of course, integer. Int and long. Okay. Very right. Float and double. Now be careful and answer. You are right. All this while you are right. So I'm not objecting. Long and float. Here the answer is no error because it is again the numeric types. The answer is float. This is a popular question. Okay. So here, if you think how many bytes long occupies, how many bytes float occupies? 4. But still, long to float conversion is done automatically. It comes under the category of the automatic promotion. So now you read this on your own, and of course, I'll explain. So tell me, I have shown you the internal representation of float. So the MSB, most significant bit is sign bit. But after that, what are the next 8 bits about? No, nothing precedence, Abhijit. Understand the point. I've written it clearly. Exponent. And remaining bits, 23 bits, are nothing but your fractional part. So if you compare the range of the values which a long data type can hold versus the range of the values float data type will hold, which will be the larger range, which will have the larger magnitudes. Of course, the floating point, because you are getting the 8 bits to store your exponent. And as already stated, the rule, the destination data type should be able to store the larger magnitude, larger range of values. That is why long to float is considered as automatic promotion. So, like I said, nothing you should do without testing or without confirming. So here, I'll write something and you tell me. And if I say float f1 equal to L1. So the question being asked is, at this point, compile time error or no error? Quickly. Answer is no compile time error. So people, for example, Sania, I am taking your name because you had asked me that question, but so many can be confused. So what is it? What to what is getting, I mean, what to what conversion is happening? It is RHS to LHS. So what is the type of RHS, please? Long. What is the type of the LHS? Float. So answer the simple question. Is long to float considered as the automatic promotion? Answer is yes. And what is the reason behind the larger range of values or larger magnitude or larger range of values? That is why I've given you read me where I'm explaining, not explaining, written the all the ranges of the values, larger ranges of values. You might lose some precision, the lower LSB, least significant bits, but compiler goes by the types, and because floating point of the data type can hold the larger range of values, it allows this conversion. 1 minute it takes you. With ID and all things become easy because you can test it right away. Today I'm not allowing ID, so I'm taking this effort. And as you can see, compiler happily compiles. Next question. Okay, sorry, before I say next question. So long to float. You understood what I'm talking about? Automatic promotion or not? Answer is it is a automatic conversion, automatic promotion. So remember this. This is like the popular question, long to float typically. Now I'll write something and you tell me. Or okay, I can take the same. Answer that. So compile time error or no error? This is why I've written it in one. If compiler goes by the types, keep that in front of you. Of course, compile time error. So tell me, what to what you are trying to convert? Talk to me in data types. F to D or D to F? Double to float. Now finally you got it right. So here, when you don't supply any literal, floating point literal such as F or lowercase f, uppercase f, it is taken as double. So of course you are going to get Java C error. And why? Because you are trying to convert, you are trying to reduce. So the double is holding the larger number of values than float, and you are going against the rule. So double to float, lesser, or I can say smaller range of values. And that's why compiler will definitely throw you out. So do spend at least 15-20 minutes. You might be having 10 different questions. I'll be there in the lab, so we can always have a discussion on that. So it is telling you, read the error message. Possible lossy conversion from double to float. Are we getting it all right? Okay, I will repeat all this in the lab because anyway, I'm going to have the lab session also with you because I think I have said it sufficiently. You just have to check what to what conversion. So here, the conversion which is happening is from RHS to LHS. So Onkar, tell me, what is the data type of RHS? Because you said you are not getting it. Answer that, Onkar. What is this? Right hand side, that is where your problem is. This is not float. Have I written explicitly F or lowercase f or this? By default, it is taken as double. That is where your confusion was. Okay. So I'll ask you. I'll make another one for you. I'll comment this. Let Onkar answer this, guys. Because it was his question. That's the thing. Anyone, not anyone, Onkar, can you tell me what is the data type of RHS, please? What is the data type of RHS? Now it is float. Okay. Is it case sensitive? Absolutely not. You can have the uppercase f or lowercase f. Doesn't matter really. So now, if I ask you this, compile time error or no compile time error? Error or no error? Obviously, no. We are not talking about running the code at all because there's no SOP and all that. So answer is no Java C error. And I hope everyone is clear. What is the type? Float to float. Of course, it is compatible. So why should compiler crypt? Got me completely? With the examples, instead of repeating the thing, the examples make it clearer. Next one. Have I taken this? No, I have not. Okay. Now faster, please. Because it is the same thing I'm saying. Compile time error or no error? Answer is no error. Everyone is clear now. This is a double, so 0 error. If I say here, now anyone wants to answer this? Compile time error or no error? Answer is still no error. Anyone wants to tell me which is the automatic promotion? What is the implicit conversion compiler is doing? I hope people are giving me a correct answer. I'm not checked it. Float to double. So this is explicitly a floating point converted into that. And of course it is. This is also same thing is happening. F1. What is the type of F1? Float. So again you are doing F1, I mean float to double. So this also does not give you any compile time error. Clear completely so far? So which is the conversion we were talking about is automatic promotion, automatic conversion, or simply referred as widening. So this is one part. So answer the question. For int to long or long to float or byte to double, do you need explicit typecasting or will compiler do it automatically? When you are performing a widening conversion, compiler does it implicitly. Absolutely correct. But anytime you are doing in the opposite direction, you are narrowing. Narrowing means what? You are going from the wider, larger range of values to the smaller range of values. That is your narrowing conversion. And that is a forced conversion. Compiler cannot perform it automatically. Compiler will just give up saying possible lossy conversion. So you will have to apply the typecasting. And couple of examples which you have seen already are double to int or float to long or double to float or into whatever short and all of this. So which implicit conversions compiler will perform is the widening conversions. If you are performing any narrowing conversion, you will have to apply or supply rather a typecast. Clear about both the statements? Narrowing conversions as well as widening conversions. So that anytime you are using it. And guys, if you have suppose, fortunately, unfortunately, more questions and all, you can definitely first try it out. No. It is, Gaurav, I said this already. So I'm not going to answer the same thing. I'm just going to refer you to this README. So when you get time in the lab session or later, you can check the values, actual values, those you are missing the point, exponent. You remember exponent is the exponential factor. So this is the actual range of values a float holds. And this is the actual range of values the, what is it called? Long value holds. So when you are talking about exponential factor, having 8 bits and 23-bit mantissa, of course, it covers the larger range. So go through that. It's not as per the bits. It is not never about the bits. It is as per the actual values which it can hold. That is why I'm using the word magnitude or range of values. Okay. So this was about your, what do you say? About the primitive types. Scanner related we have talked about already. So now, just as a breather, I'm giving you a 5 minutes break is too less. Okay, 12:52. So let's have a just a water break, 8 minutes break, and we'll resume at 1 o'clock. You know the timing. We are doing it till 1:30. So let's have exactly 8 minutes break and resume the session at 1 o'clock, being the first day and all that. Okay. So see you at 1. Good afternoon and welcome back. So earlier session, we were talking largely about primitive types. And this half an hour, I'm just going to give you the basic, basic introduction to JVM architecture. So don't expect to understand all the details and all complete details anyway. I'm not sharing. This is being the first day, but you should have some idea when you are talking about stack, heap, method area, class loaders. At least you should have one diagram which gives you some basic level of clarity. So here, let me just open the diagram. And my recommendation to a fresher, if you are already knowing things from core Java, you may not draw that. But if you are not if you are complete fresher, complete beginner, I would definitely recommend draw that diagram. You can draw it later also, not an issue. But because it is that important. So this diagram, the basic diagram, I have taken it as it is from JVM specification. Okay. So no, this one. You don't have to, you got me wrong. Anything and everything which I'm showing you is going to be shared under day one data. But guys, it gives you a different level of clarity when you have drawn it on your own and you have thought of it during the drawing. Okay, so it's your personal call. When I take you to advanced topics such as collection framework and all, I'm not going to give you the choice. We are going to draw it from the basic and you are also going to draw along with me. That kind of exercise 100% helps to a beginner as well as a lateral one also. But like I said, your choice. So now let me start explaining the diagram in the top to down manner, top to bottom manner. So here, the prerequisite is your code has been compiled. So imagine you have said JavaC, let's say hello world.java, JavaC -d, bin and all is there. So, and there is a class by the name hello world. So .java gets compiled to .class. And what will be the answer is in front of you. This whole diagram is JVM architecture. So what is the first block of the JVM architecture? Anyone? The answer is right in front of you. I hope you'll be able to tell. What is the first block? And if you are those who are drawing, just draw only first block. It is nothing but the class loader subsystem. So am I going to give you today itself the different 3 types of class loaders, such as bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, application class loader, etc.? Absolutely not. That will frustrate you. That will saturate you, if not already. So right now, let us focus on important things on day one. So I have a question, small question for you. I have said JavaC hello world.java. It has compiled into hello world.class. So which classes will be loaded by the JVM's class loader? One obvious answer is hello world.class. But let me open so that you know none of you should feel lost about it. Give me a sec. Here, day one SRC. I can open in my default editor is VS Code. So anyway, so anyone wants to tell me if this was if I had written Java followed by hello world, can anyone tell me which all classes will be loaded by the JVM's class loader? Which is the, no, I'm not, you will not get the answer, not default and all. Guys, first is hello world class. No, java.lang is the package name, guys. You are off track. First is the hello world class. Okay, now it comes inside. And when it starts looking at this string class, or rather to be precise, it's an array of string class. Then system class will get loaded. Now don't disappoint me. When it says system.out, which other class will get loaded? System class is right. No, no. Okay, the name is print stream. No, no issues. I don't expect you to remember all of that. Print stream class gets loaded. Are you getting me? And here, when you have actual strings, that is when the string class also gets loaded. So you'll say you are saying too many complex things on day one. Actually not. So to simplify your understanding, I'll say JVM's class loader will load the required classes, needed classes, and those are hello world, those are array string array, then there is something called a system, print stream, and the string class will get loaded for this. If you don't want to go in such a detailed manner, the loose statement is the required classes will get loaded by the class loader subsystem. So you understood the first statement? Which classes will get loaded? The needed classes, the ones which are required, those will get loaded by the JVM's class loader. But the actual details of class loading later. I need a response. Are you clear on the JVM's class loader subsystem or not? You are clear. Great. Otherwise, like I said, you only deep questions today I'm not answering because being the first day. Now, this is what you have to draw. Draw in the sense you have to know. So out of these 5 memory areas, this is called as runtime data areas, or you can simply say JVM memory model. So before I continue my next statement, everyone knows you have the, in your COP, you had the basics of operating system. So here Java is running just as a process on the top of operating system. I'll repeat my statement again with an example. Just look at it. When I say Java and hello world. So when I press enter, what is it you are launching is the Java application. So a JVM, a process is started on the top of operating system. So the underlying operating system will allocate the piece of memory to JVM, and JVM will further distribute it into 5 different memory areas. I'll repeat the statement again. When I press enter, you are launching the JVM. Forget the output. So which is the first block in the JVM? Answer the question, please. Which is the first subsystem? Which is the first block in JVM architecture? Class loader. So it will do the job of loading the required classes as and when it requires. And the next part is the operating system underlying native OS will give the memory RAM to any process. Let it be STS, IDE, let it be you are watching a movie using some movie viewer, or if it is a Paint or anything, process operating system is just giving the allocating the memory, and that memory, how it is split into 5 memory areas, that is what is being discussed. So let's go from left to right. You understood this much? So the whatever your system or platform operating system gives, that is divided into 5. So one is method area, heap, and Java stacks. These are super important. Out of 3, super most important are of course heap and stack. But in addition to that, you have program counter registers and the native method stacks as well. That's why I was telling you to draw it, because it is such an important topic. And of course, the important topics I do recap, but in a faster manner on the next day. So start looking at it. So let's have some common things first. So I'm going to explain it from left to right. So here, how many method areas would be there per JVM? Single method area or multiple method areas? Answer is single method area. Okay. So here, there will be only one copy of a method area. And what is it which is getting allocated on the method area is the loaded class information. So that is what I have added it in a detailed manner. This diagram I told you is I've taken it as a JVM specification book, and these are the additional details. So what is this method area called? From JDK 1.8 onwards, we are in JDK 11. It is called as metaspace. What does it hold? It holds the loaded class information. So at the time of class loading, the class loader subsystem, JVM's class loader, is going to load the class information in method area, heap, or Java stacks. Answer is method area. So this is your loaded class information is added in the method area, which is known as metaspace. How many copies of method area exist per JVM, per single JVM process? Answer is one single copy. And when I tell you later in detail, maybe day 2, day 3, I guess, when we talk about static keyword in detail, inside out, you will see that static data members are loaded at the class loading time. They are one copy. Somebody already answered, one copy shared. So that is all memory allocated in the method area. And all the dot class file, which consists of your, constructors, functionality, methods, this whole dot class file is memory allocated into a method area. So how many copies of method area? Single copy. Later, when I take you to multi-threading, which is going to be the advanced topic, last topic in core Java, even when you create 10 different threads, suppose you take a Java application and you separate it into 10 different threads. Answer the question, please. How many copies of method areas would be there? 1 or 10? Let me see your answer. Somebody answered 10. Guys, I said 1 per JVM. So why you are giving me wrong answer? Correct answer is 1. So all the threads belonging to the same JVM will share the method area. This will be clearer, of course, in the threads topic more, but I'm just giving you sufficient inputs. Sufficient only for day 1, day 2 types. The another one which is super important is the object heap. So let me ask you, what is it which will be memory allocated on the in the Java heap? What is it which will be dynamically allocated objects? So tell me, you have done arrays, so I'm asking you. When I say, I'm just talking about it. Anyway, we are going to revise that completely later. Suppose if I say int array ARR equal to new int array, let's say size of 10. So where will this array be memory allocated? Will it be memory allocated in the method area, heap, or stack? Answer is array is created as an object in Java, dynamically memory allocated, and that will be on heap. And tomorrow I'm going to start with class programming, starting with what is class, what is instance, what is constructor, all basic stuff. Okay, so at that time you'll see all the class instances which you create, including your scanner instance, including your print stream instance, including your employee class instance or library instance, whatever, will be all memory allocated on this. So now read this in detail. It is nothing but the Java object heap. How many copies would be created of Java heap per JVM? It's a one single copy. So I'm using the same numbers. Suppose you have written a multi-threaded application having 10 threads spawned from the JVM. How many copies of method area and how many copies of heap would be there? 1, 1, 10, 10, 1, 10, whatever. Answer is 1, 1. One single method area shared across all the threads belonging to the same process, that is same JVM, and one single heap shared across multiple threads. Okay, and you will see that, like already I said, static data members are memory allocated in the method area. And tomorrow when we start with creation, object creation, we'll be creating a student class instance or your box class instance, whatever. So the non-static data members, which are called as instance variables, those will be memory allocated on the heap. So right now, don't go to such a detail. You can just think of that Java objects are memory allocated on the heap and one single copy of a heap. So this is I told you, this is a surface level introduction of JVM architecture. It goes really deep later. Next one. The third most important memory area is Java stack. So think and answer. The question is the same. If you have got a multi-threaded application having 10 threads, how many Java stacks would be there? 1 or 10? Answer here is 10. So here, this is what has to be clear to any Java developer. If you have done Java earlier and you said that, okay, I'm never bothered with memory management, so why you are harassing us? It is an essential skill in programming and interviews and everywhere. Okay, so point is Java stack is nothing but created on a thread level copy. So read this. Stack is created, Java stack is created 1 per thread. So if you have a process JVM separated into 10 different threads, how many copies of stacks you will have? One single stack, or would there be 10 stacks? Answer is there would be 10 different stacks. Okay, next one. Like how I told you, what is memory allocated in the method area? The class information, including the static data members. What is memory allocated in the heap is the Java object. Tomorrow when I talk about state, behavior, class and all that, I'll tell you it is the state of the object which is memory allocated in the Java heap. We'll draw the memory diagrams and full-fledged will understand. And in Java stacks, what is stored is method local information. So what are the 3 different things which will be stored in the stack is the method arguments, whatever temporary local variables which you declare within a method, as well as whatever return values you return from the method. So what is the stack? What is it which is going to be pushed? What is it which is going to be stored on the Java stack is only the method local information. How many stacks would be there? 1 per entire JVM, or is it 1 per thread? J for JVM, T for thread. It is 1 per thread. On that basis of 1 per thread is a very right answer. And what is it which is pushed? What is it which is saved on the stack is it a static data member? Is it the state of the object? Or is it a method local information? Answer is method local information is the only thing which is stored on the stack. Now, little more details. Little below the surface level. We are digging slightly inner, deeper. So here, when you talk about a stack consists of stack frames. So individual stack belongs to a particular thread, and the individual stack is going to consist of a stack frame. So how does this whole thing look like? So another diagram will make it clearer. I did not see the question. Just let me finish it from my side and then you can ask the question again. So because I'm not yet finished the specifying from my side. So here, how does this stack frame look like? So here, first, don't look at this picture. Look at the code, please. Okay, I'm trying to explain it tomorrow. The first thing I'll do is I'll revise all of this. You would have slept over it, you would have gone over it, and the things will reach you in a faster manner or clearer manner. So look at the code, please. Imagine there is a class test. I've not written that. Public static void main string array args, and there is some code in the main method. Simple. System.out.println in main. Okay. Here are my inputs. I'm trying to explain. Then this main method, main method is calling another method called as M1. So what is M1? M1 is the another method. I have declared it into the same class. One class can have multiple methods. So main is calling M1. M1 is calling another method M2. And M2 is calling another method M3. So tell me, are my inputs clear here? So how many classes are we talking about? We are talking about class test. There is a main method. And how many methods are we talking about in that class test or whatever? Main plus 3. So your count is wrong. 4 is the correct answer. Are you understanding it? So that is what it is. So main, M1, M2, M3. 100% clear so far? Okay. Now continue with the next level of understanding. Whenever you start the JVM, by saying Java followed by test, we have not written any threads so far, but JVM itself creates implicitly 2 threads. Anyone knows the names of these system threads which JVM creates on its own? Nobody's responding. Okay, so that I'm going to, so people were writing. You are absolutely clear. Correct. One is the main thread. The name of the thread is main, and the other thread is garbage collector. So garbage collection and all that tomorrow. So tell me. So right now, don't worry about garbage collector thread. Focus on the main thread. Let me ask you the next question. Apply your common sense and tell me, what do you think is the job of the main thread? If anyone is stuck at what is that thread she's talking about, thread is nothing but a parallel flow of control. I'm repeating. Thread is nothing but an entire process divided into parts or tasks which can run concurrently. And the separate flow of control is nothing but a thread. Okay, yeah. So the correct answer is, some of you have given it a precisely correct answer. The job, begin execution, is a loose answer. The job of the main thread is search for the main method and call main method labeled as public static void main. So what is the job of the main thread? To invoke the main method. And if you have not given the main method, you get that runtime error that please supply this method and all that. If you have any errors, it tells you exception in thread main. So that is enough confirmation. Main thread is the one who is going to invoke your main method. Are you understanding so far? Like I said, tomorrow in the revisions, and revision means morning session, I'll be repeating all these statements properly. So job of the main thread is to call the main method. Now focus. So here, when you are seeing 3 threads, this is again JVM specification diagram. Focus only on the main thread. Focus only on thread 1, which I have labeled it as a main thread. Okay. Currently, don't focus on thread 2 or thread 3 because we have not yet written a multi-threaded application. So imagine that main thread has started calling the main method. So now your participation is required. So before, okay, let me say this properly. Main thread, suppose, has not yet called the main method. So can you tell me what will be the state of main threads stack? Will it be empty or will it be non-empty? Answer is 100% it is empty because main thread has not called the main function at all. So it is all empty. Visualize empty stack. Next. Now, suppose the control is on here. So main thread has called the main method. Now tell me, stack will be empty, main thread stack will be empty or non-empty? Non-empty. And how many stack frames will be pushed, stored on that stack? 0, 1, 2, 3. Answer is 1. Guys, where I have said the control has gone to M3. The control is here. in the main method. So now look at it carefully. So here, don't count this. So here, this is that main, the stack frame belonging to the main method, the only one stack frame, and it has the arguments, it has the temporary local variables. Return value is void, so the method local information is pushed here. So visualize this correctly. When you start, main thread starts executing the main function and the control is here on line 1. How many stack frames are there? There is exactly one stack frame. I've yet to continue. So let me finish from my side and then ask your questions, because all your queries are going to be answered automatically. Okay. So what is the memory picture now? On the stack, visualize main method stack frame. Now, when the main method calls another method M2, now tell me. So the control goes to M1. The control passes from main method to M1. Now tell me, how many stack frames would be there in the main threads stack? Now the answer is 2. Somebody had asked me the question, what if? So I'm saying, wait, let me finish from my side first. Now, which will be the stack frame on the top and which will be on the bottom? Can you tell me the stack frames? What will be on the top? M1 is put on the top. Do you know the concept of a stack? Stack is, think of it. You have not done data structures, but still think of it as a stack of plates. So here it is, stack of frames. Last in, first out is the absolutely correct answer. So think of it as a stack of frames, stack of plates. So the stack frame consisting, representing the main is pushed below. And on the top of the stack, what is the picture? The picture is M1 stack frame is on the top. So this is what happens when the execution, when it is executing method M1. Got it? M1 followed by main. Now M1 calls the method M2. And imagine that your control is in M2. Tell me the picture of the stack frame. Tell me the picture of the main thread stack. Yeah, 3. So give me from top to bottom, please. What will be the stack frames? Top to bottom, I'm saying. M2, M1, and main. So main is pushed below, M1 is pushed below, and top of the stack is your stack, the information corresponding to the method local information of M2. I'm purposefully repeating it so that 100% of you will get it. From CS background or non-CS background, I am treating you alike. Last one. Now M2 calls the method M3. Imagine the control is, you are executing, the main thread is executing M3. Tell me the stack picture in top to bottom manner, please. M3 stack frame at the top. You're absolutely right. M2 and M1. Are you all with me? 100% clear so far? We have finished one half, naturally. Other half is, of course, pending. So M3, M2, M1, and bottommost stack frame belongs to main. Now imagine M3 method is over. M3 method returns. Suppose it had 10 line of code and the code is executed. So M3 method returns. Tell me, what will be popped out? What will be removed from the stack? Guys, Shivani, I guess. How can it go directly at the bottom? Whatever is sitting at the topmost, top of the stack is M3. Last in, first out. So, which was the last in? What is, forget LIFO. Imagine, you told me M3, M2, M1, and main. So, which will be popped out? M3 stack in local information is all lost. It's a method local information. And what is the picture on the stack, guys? M2, M1, and main. Clear? Now imagine, to continue with the story, M2 returns. Method M2 returns and control comes back to M1. What will be the picture? M1. So M2 stack frame will be popped out. Are you getting this? And it will have M1 stack frame followed by below that main. You got me? Now M1 returns. Control comes to this point. Are you seeing this? After this, the only stack frame which remains is the main, corresponding to the main method. So for every method invocation, a stack frame is created. And when the method returns, that stack frame is popped out from the corresponding thread stack. And finally, when the main method returns here, are you understanding me? When the main function, main method returns, what will be the story? What will be the picture of the main thread stack? Empty or non-empty? Answer is becomes empty again. So I'm wrapping it up for the day. I don't want to stretch it right on the first day. You'll curse me. So the point is this, okay, just as a 1 minute recap. I'm not taking the program counter registers and the native stack and all that overlap. I mean, going to tomorrow. So you just learned about class loader, just in a superficial manner. The loading, the class loader's job is to load the Java classes in the memory area. So we just talked about 3 memory areas today: method area, heap, and a stack. So quickly, what is it which gets memory allocated or loaded in the method area is equal to metaspace. What gets memory allocated in the method area? No, method area, I said class information, the dot class file, the byte codes, the dot class, dot Java to dot this. So class information and the static data members are also memory allocated in the method area, 1 copy. Shift to heap. What is it which will get memory allocated in the heap? The dynamically created Java objects. And you will see that later tomorrow, that it will only store the state of the object, and the behavior part, that is nothing but the methods and all, will be referred to from the method area. In short, so Java objects. Next, last one. Oh, sorry. Before that last, how many copies of heap and method area would be created? Answer 1 is not sufficient. 1 per what? Is it 1 per thread or is it 1 per JVM? Answer is 1 per JVM. Because if you launch 10 different JVMs, Java test 1, Java test 2, Java test 3, till Java test 10, you are launching 10 JVMs, they will have 10 different copies. So how many method areas and heap? 1 per JVM. And last statement of today, of theory session is, how many stacks would be created for a Java application? That answer is 1 per thread. And then you saw stack consists of a stack frame, which corresponds to the method call. And when the method is called, the information is pushed on the stack in form of a stack frame. And when the method returns, the corresponding information, stored in the stack frame is popped out. So this is more than sufficient for day 1. So we are stopping here right away. So since you are starting, I mean, this is our first day together, I'll be adding all this information in day 1 data. I'll create a zip file and upload it on our Google Drive, day-wise manner. And whenever you go to the lab, first do the full revision. I'll be joining the lab, and but first you go through all the things which we said. We have written some small examples, some code samples, and then there will be some simple assignments for you to solve. So somebody was asking, this is all from my side. So somebody was asking me some question regarding vector and all. So vector is something which is in the collection framework. So I would say that is too much ahead of time. Any relevant question, any immediate question? Otherwise, I'm there with you in the lab. I'll join a little late, around 3 o'clock, but I'll be there in the lab definitely. So anyone has any specific question before that? Anyway, you think about all the questions and you try it out things, and whatever you don't understand, whatever surprises you, we'll deal with it together. That will be all. See you in the labs.